Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the round two of the Cornerstone that happened at the Utden Troll Cup. Um, I have Nick with me to comment this game,
Hey,
and
everybody.
and we have another Waveshaper, different player than the first round. It's going to be a Waveshaper against a Battlemage. So let's jump into the deck list.
I love battle mages. I think they're awesome. Here we have another 60 card deck, Jeffrey. So I'm really wondering if I didn't misread the rules of the game because I brought a 50 card deck to the game. Anyway, so there are different types of battle mages. This one is more minion heavy. We see falconers, princes, even men of Leng, which is actually funny unless you're the opponent with teleports, because with a tower you can play Men of Link turn 1, teleport turn 2, and start discarding cards. We have the bats for the falconers. We even have scarabs for damage and vampires, horses, even Cerberus in change with grapples, etc. It will join you very quickly. Phase Assassin, Hippogriffs, and Cavalry. So this one is like the minions will support, the Battle Mage will not do everything itself. And interestingly, we also have Flaming Swords, and that is also a combo with Whirling Blades. So a lot of damage here. And he's taking it up against the Waveshaper. We saw this one in the first round. Yeah, any difference that you might spot?
I think the name of the game is very similar. You want to play the big minions, either on curve or a bit early through a Mix Aqua or for Waters of Paradise. You trust that your minions are going to be bigger than your opponent on average, and you're hoping to overwhelm them in the mid to late game. Worth noting the Peregrine Apparition here, or not really Peregrine Apparition, it's a stand-in for swaps. So yeah, two swaps in the deck that has really elevated mono water, I would say, to something quite powerful, honestly. Swap is a very, very flexible card. So I think the game is going to be try and survive the early game. If you can sustain the aggression, you should be favored in the late game.
Yep. And this deck is apparently 50 cards. Let's jump right into it. So we have Jens with his Battle Mage on top, and we have Thomas with the Waveshaper on the bottom. So Jeffrey, any ideas or favorite in this matchup? Would you know?
It's it's tough to say. I think, especially as you sit down, if you're the wave shaper, you don't yet know what type of battle mage this is. Water air is a very popular variant of battle mage, and if that's the case, I would definitely favor the wave shaper because you have a bit more water sites to play with against an air fire version, which tends to be the very aggressive version. I would worry about the wave shaper in the early turns. So I think the early turns are going to be crucial. If you can present a couple speed bumps, potentially if you're on the play as well, you're probably going to be okay. But if not, you could really get overwhelmed very quickly.
Yeah, so of course a Waveshaper has always the option to flood a side of your opponent, but having air on the other, water on the other side just makes it so much easier. And we see a opening with Leviathan into a Mix Aqua.
Yeah, so two good news if you're the wave shaper. First of all, you're on the play. That's what we wanted. And then turn one mix aqua, it doesn't really get much better than this. Hopefully you have something to actually use the mix for. But it's about as good as it gets so far.
Yeah, if you really want to be consistent in turn 2, then we have the Questing Beast, 3 plus 2, that's 5. Sometimes we have a pond, and then you can actually go into a beast for 1 cheaper, which is then the Messes Storeworm. A turn 2 Messes Storeworm against a Battle Mage with that many minions, that is really problematic.
Yeah, you could see a Hydra if you have a pun as well,
Oh,
because I think the Hydra is a beast. Oh, are we gonna see it?
here we have the ponds.
Oh, it is a Hydra. Wait,
Oh,
no,
yeah, that's not possible because the Hydra is no beast. Uh,
isn't it? Oh, I thought it was.
no. The Hydra is it a
It's
monster?
a
Let's have a
monster.
quick.
You're right. See, Thomas made the same mistake I did, and actually showed a little bit of his hand to to the battle mage, who's now like, huh, so next turn you're telling me there's a Hydra coming.
Like some people don't believe in fortune tellers, but like Jens just saw a glimpse of his future, and it's
Yeah.
not looking good. But so ponds, amazing cards because even turtles they are considered beasts, and so this already is there on turn two. So what do
Yeah.
you do with Battlemage? Do you run to the sides? And Jens says nope. I still move forward, although that is 2 damage guaranteed by turtles, with a Hydra coming. On the other side, you will have a Hydra on 8. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel not good for Jens actually.
So, like, we saw the battle mage list, right? What do you have to actually deal with a Hydra? It's pretty dicey. Usually, good candidates are things like Disintegrate, um, Chaos Twister, Infiltrate, but I don't think we saw any of these in the deck list
No, no.
for Jens. So, yeah, I mean, we, maybe Jens doesn't believe his eyes and is like, hey, I think I saw a glimpse of a Hydra. Can you confirm, please?
Can you show it?
Yeah, I want to see it again. I want to read it. Gonna play a lookout and see exactly what Thomas is working with.
Oh,
And unfortunately for him, it is going to confirm that the Hydra is there. And
still.
yeah, I think your best plan is try and race, I guess.
It's really difficult. Like checking the deck list, there is nothing that deals with the Hydra. So I guess the only option is actually to raise, but that is not easy. And we see a sinkhole being placed.
Yeah.
Wow.
First blood was drawn as well. I think the turtle got in for 2 damage, so
Yeah.
18 to 20. And this is the follow-up.
Phew.
Hydra on turn 3, sinkhole to threaten your sides. Not right away, because we want the Hydra to at least attack on 8 one time. Um, but yeah, threatening to set the battle mage further back.
Phew.
That is rough.
Yeah, if you are Jens, hello. Like, turtles are annoying anyway for any. I mean, he also doesn't have any deserts, otherwise, you might ping and kill, draw a card. Not with a Hydra as a potential defender, but like somewhere in the near future. So that is not happening. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
really. And the sinkhole is still threatening. No mana, no minions. Hydra. Phew.
Yeah, so turtles could be a desert and a Violent or a kobolds, but he actually doesn't play any of these in his deck. So there's no good way to deal with the turtle. And I don't even think you think about the turtle in that spot because your
No.
real problem is right behind, right?
No. Yeah, no Vile Imp, so that's what you get when you only play 50 cards, right? And there's no room for Vile Imps. But yeah, I'm feeling for Jens. Like, normally it's the other way around, I think. Battlemage should be the aggressor. But yeah, if you play with mixes, that is what you can push out, of course. We see
Yeah.
a
And
tower providing a little speed acceleration.
so that could be a big turn. Let's see what 4 mana unlocks. It's unlikely to be a good attack, unfortunately, because of the Hydra. But maybe we could present some flyers for, to threaten like damage back once the
Yeah, but
Waveshaper attacks with both creatures.
you're not able to attack anything because the Hydra will just block anything.
Yes. So it would be like flyers to threaten the crackback. So let's say next turn Waveshaper attacks with Hydra and Turtle. You let it go through and then you attack back on your turn. Which is not ideal, but probably one of your
Yeah,
best options.
or sometimes you have to be to consider like, hey, I attack at 12. If the Hydra blocks, at least he takes one more step to reach me. But that never feels good.
No, it doesn't. That's yeah. Doesn't sound like where you want to be as a battle mage, especially because the airfire battle mage can be very powerful, but they tend to be very one-dimensional. If you think about an air water battle mage, they have a bit more flex between being the aggressor versus the defender. They can play a bit slow and more controlly because they have a good card advantage engine through the battle mage ability. Airfire is really all gas and doesn't have a lot of fallback options.
So here we
Makes it,
see the 4 mana being spent for a warhorse together with a Man of Lang, which is a bit sad because the turtle can attack into it, and also if you double block, it's considered as a one source of damage, so the turtle will not die. So you're just giving away a 2-point minion, and then the other one could block the Hydra if you really want to prevent damage, but phew, not easy.
yeah, it is rough here. And I think we're gonna see, definitely gonna see some attacks if we're Thomas here. Ooh, that's an aggressive move. Okay, we're gonna go ahead with it. This is an Iron Shackles, so we're gonna lock down one of the 2 minions in order to really make sure we can push damage this turn. That means the turtle is a clean trade on the warhorse, and there is no one left to defend the Hydra after that. So I
So
think
honestly, I
we
think
appreciate.
I would do it differently, I think, because if what happens if you teleport the Man of Lang? The Iron Shackles just teleport with it?
I think the shackles are being carried, right?
Yeah,
So I think
okay, then
so.
it doesn't matter.
I think this is a very aggressive line.
Yeah.
By all accounts, I think Thomas realizes, okay, I'm on the play. I used one of my cards to cheat out one of my other cards, so it's very likely he's down on card advantage. So obviously he doesn't know exactly what's in Jens's deck, so he could be worried about an infiltrate or something to get rid of the Hydra. So he's thinking, okay, I want to push as much damage as quickly as possible. I don't want I don't want to give him time to find the answer here.
I now am thinking about these sinkholes because sinkholes are a solution to all the annoying sides, of course, but they also meant for aggressive decks if you just want to push your opponent in the corner. Um, so him having the sinkholes in his deck is like, is this really part of the plan? Like get a mix, or for waters have something huge very quickly and just start attacking as hard as you can?
Single is so good. It's good defensively. It's good offensively. The only downside is it's colorless, which is why you don't see it as often as you would. If all decks could afford it, I think all decks would run two singles. It is really, really that good. And obviously, if you're mono water, then you can afford colorless sites. It can be used aggressively, as we see here. It can be used defensively if your opponent has a pesky site that you want to remove. The fact that it gives the mana on top of doing its thing, if you compare it, the easiest comparison is Strip Mine in Magic, but Strip Mine doesn't give the mana and does its ability in the same turn, so Single is really Strip Mine on steroid. On top of that, you can also then aggressively move into your opponent's territory because you've potentially created a hole that you can immediately take on.
Interesting.
A couple of things worth noting here. We have a Cloud City on the Battle Mage, and you never want to be in that position, but sometimes you have to be realistic. If you're facing a Hydra and a Turtle and you don't have an answer for that, you might already be thinking about, okay, what's my post death door plan? I'm going to go to death door. How do I survive and tempo on death door and potentially try to bring it back from there? And Cloud City offers an option here. If you manage to bunker in a corner, keep some void all around you, Mono Water doesn't really have a ton of direct damage to play with and finish the game, so
True,
that's
and
one thing.
if you, so what you're saying is like you have to create that bunker. And my first initial response was like, hey, but is then the Cloud Spirit placed correctly? Because if you want to create that bunker, you have to be able to or get to 15 or to 11 to close it off. And I see that site where he placed it, it's a bit more open. Like if the Waveshaper wants to place a site on 12, and then 11 and 6, you actually can reach the corner. So my initial response, like, hey, he should have played it at 14, so at least he could fly to 10, place a site there. But now I realize, like, he doesn't have the threshold. That sinkhole puts him to 2 air threshold, so the Cloud City cannot move at this moment.
Yeah, it would need to happen next turn. I do think playing on 14 would be better
Or
for
he
two
could
reasons.
He could actually play it on 10, right, the Cloud City, and then place another air site on 15, then fly to 5?
He could, but I think if the goal is to bunker in the corner, you want to build yourself a wall of sites that are all yours in a way that your opponent can't invade next to the Cloud City through its own sites. So if you play the Cloud City on 14, and the next turn you have another air site, you can play it anywhere else and then move the Cloud City later, I guess.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
true.
sure.
Then you put it at 15 and then fly to 10 because it's nearby. Yeah, okay, but we
Also,
are going already very far in our theory
well,
crafting. We are not there yet.
but I think
But
another argument for 14 is if a minion can get on the Cloud City like the Turfed Turtle is now, it also diminishes the
true.
bunker plan,
Yeah.
right? Because you're going to have to deal with a turtle if you want to bunker on this Cloud City. And we see a devastating Bower of Bliss being played by the Waveshaper here. There was a Phase Assassin, emphasis on was, who unfortunately lost his Void Walk ability because Bower of Bliss silences all mortals, and Phase Assassin is immortal, so was played in a Void, lost Void Walk, and immediately died. And then a Riptide means the Waveshaper is now on side 13.
He also got 8 damage, 2 from the turtle, 6 from the Hydra, putting him to 4 lives. So, wow. So, as said, there is no solution for the Hydra. Yeah, I don't want to call this game too early, but I'm not saying it here. Like, this is really a rough spot for Jens. So, at least he's positioning his tower correct, but he still has to get to 12 and 11 if he wants to create that bunker as we talked about. And then you still have to get rid of the turtles, and you still have to get rid of the Hydra or fly away from the Hydra. But if you want to fly away from the Hydra, that means you still have 1-2 turns of sides you have to play. So, my god, this is a tough game.
Yeah. And you haven't even started damaging the Waveshaper. So we're talking about like how you can survive, but at some point you also need to do damage yourself, and we're very far from that. I think this is looking extremely dire for the Battlemage, honestly.
I want to come back to that bar of bliss. So one of the key things that you learn when you start playing Sorcery is the concept of the regions. There are 4 different regions: above ground, the void, and then submerged below water and below land. Bar of Bliss is one of these cards that affect the whole realm. There are not a lot of cards, but it really says just everything in the realm. Mortals become beasts. So otherwise, normally they don't interact that often. Bar of Bliss is such a cruel card. It really is a killer for certain decks. Decks that rely on Grandmaster Wizard that want to draw sides. The Pilgrims in certain decks that want to draw cards, they all are just beasts and silenced. But of course, for the Waveshaper, the most important part is because pirate ships. A pirate ship, although a ship, is actually also considered a mortal. So the waterbound effect will not happen. So it's just a cheap 4 mana, 5-part minion.
Yeah. Yeah, Bower of Bliss is a crazy sight. Like, it's colorless, of course, that's a downside, but the things it enables is for a site is quite impressive. We see a Cloud City move to 6, so we're starting to try and isolate ourselves. Isolate the turtles for now. Sending it flying, and we actually decide against it. So I think it was it just play a tower and pass? That is rough.
Yeah, so that is dead
I think it
story
was.
guaranteed. And now because he flew the Cloud City to 6, so actually he does not require to go to 12. He just can fly to 6, cast a site on 11, and then fly back at 1. But as
Yeah, but I
said,
think he eventually decided against it because he's back on 2 here.
yeah, because that turtle is still on there, so that is,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't see
someone
it
is
like
already in the bunker. There's no room.
this is not a small hill to climb. This is like you have unkillable minions. You have turtles that you have to hit twice, but if you're on dead store, that is not really happening. And I think he's actually on dead store because the Hydra just attacked.
And I would have maybe liked to see the Babbling Brook on the left-hand side on 12 here from Thomas. It's a small thing, but like Cloud City threatens to do its thing on the left side of the map,
Yeah.
and if you play more sides on the left, it has less room to do its thing. And I think Jens recognizes that and goes, "Oh, if you're letting me build my little wall over there, I will." And we see, oh, that's painful but needed. We see a lightning bolt to break the turtle's shield, and then that was a mistake, however. A grapple shot to kill the turtle, though the grapple shot should have stopped at the Hydra. So a bit of a rules mishap here.
Oh, but that is a big misstep.
Yeah. The
Okay.
grapple shot, it used to be the case that you could ignore anything on the starting location a while ago, though. But now you can't anymore. If there's an enemy on top of you and you fire a projectile, it will go to that enemy. So
Oh,
yeah, I mean, both players let it slip through. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. It's kind of up to both players to make sure that all the rules and interactions are being played out correctly. We have made our bunker. We have the Cloud City in the corner. We have a nice little wall of sites over there, and we have the Lord Unland that is trying to make its way slowly towards that corner now. And Angel Leg has been played on the Waveshaper. Not gonna do much yet because we haven't taken any damage, but we're slowly preparing ourselves for the long game and building our defenses just in case we couldn't close the game quick enough.
yeah. So one side is at 0 life on that store. The other side is at 20 with an Angel's Egg. Now, because of that mistake, Jens was actually able to place that side on 12 and escape. So yeah, he was a bit lucky there, as we now can see. There are some cards that can still bring the victory, I think, for Thomas, but it has become way more difficult to close this game out.
Yeah. As we see a thunderstorm getting rid of the Lord Unland and then moving in. So yeah, let's, obviously the grapple shot should have hit something different, but let's continue in the world where the Cloud City is in the corner and Battlemage is there. What are your outs if you're Waveshaper, right? Because Mono Water doesn't have a lot of direct damage. So you need to find a way to come up to that spot somehow.
Yeah, when I was going through the deck list, so I see Rule of Tool. Rule of Tool is that card that could actually jump to the other side from 16.
Well,
And
not with the Bowers of Bliss in play,
exactly.
right? Yeah. So if you're the Waveshaper, you've turned out one of your own win conditions here. Just because, Bowers of Bliss is a crazy card, Roller of Throw is a crazy card. Yes, there's a bit of anti-synergy between the two, but like you still include both of them in the deck, right? But that means, yeah, Roller of Throw doesn't do it.
There's
I don't
always
think
the
there's,
ring.
of course, that will do it. A ring would definitely do it.
But
Anything
for
else?
the rest, so he does have one self-same simulacrum that could copy something, but that something should be airborne, like the bats that is being played right now. That could reach it. And then, of course, the card we all love when you play with water is the Peregrine Apparition in the deck list, but they are standing for swap. So you could swap to the Battlemage, but that also means that you need something there. Like you need to have a blocker
Yeah.
or core or something. So as long as Jens doesn't cost anything, then he's also safe from a swap.
Yeah, and we see an Angel Egg. So Thunderstorm is going to tick on the Waveshaper. That's going to bring it down to 17, and Angel Egg should bring it back up, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they're discussing ordering here. So Yeah, you make a good point in airborne. So simulacrum, copying an airborne minion would do it. Mesmerism could do it, right? Like if Jens wants to play a blocker on Cloud City, or even an airborne minion on 7, and the Waveshaper manages to be nearby to gain control of it, that would do it.
Yep.
Geyser is also a way you can give your own minions airborne. And actually, I wonder if that Hydra should slowly make its way to location 7. Because if you do draw the Geyser, then you could Geyser on 7, give the
Correct.
Hydra airborne, and then attack diagonally. So there are outs for Waveshaper.
The,
Swap doesn't do it just yet, but you have to assume like the power of swap is like at some point it will do something.
there is also the Green Knight. If you could get the Green Knight on 7 and then kill it some way, that would
Yep.
also do it. So, but these are not easy solutions.
Yeah.
If you want to kill the
And in the
Green Knight,
meantime,
I
yeah,
guess
in the meantime, just the damage continues to pile up on the Battlemage side, right? We see a bat for 2, a hippogriff for 3, so that's 5, and another 3 from the thunderstorm, so that's 8. And we will get 1 back from the egg.
yeah.
Yeah. And now there are things to answer.
Yeah, but I'm still not too worried. I mean, you have your Angel's Egg. You can still tap minions, but it's true. Like I would have preferred that the Hydra would have come down to at least be able to block. I mean, if you put it on 13, you just have it's doing something. Are we going to see a reverse here? Like, hey, I'm just here saving the corner? Because as we said, all the cards that we discussed, I mean, it's a 60 card deck. If you give your opponent 10 turns, then anything could
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, I mean, props to both players to see what they need to do, right? Battlemage finding that like bunker line in the corner. Oh, Pirate Ship has been played, and then the Angelic trigger would means the Waveshaper gets 1 more life.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, yeah, really well done by both players to see what they need to do in their situation, right? Battlemage bunkering, and then Waveshaper realizing, okay, I just need to defend now because there's actually pressure on me. We see a bat's attack for another 2. So that pirate ship, instead of deploying it forward, actually needs to defend until I can draw the thing. I assume that's a move without an attack from the hippogriff
Yeah.
because the pirate ship could defend that. And you talked about it, right? We have a Bowers of Bliss, meaning that the pirate ship is silence, which is a good thing because that means it doesn't have waterbound and it can actually move on land now. So
Correct.
this is a chunky minion without downsides. Okay.
Another Babbling Brook giving a bit more time.
Yeah. Oh, see, second pirate ship. Okay, we're in full defense mode. We're saying, okay, I don't have the answer. I need time to find it, so I need blockers, and I need this angel egg to do its thing. 2 chunky blockers, and continuous life gain would do that.
So the egg ticking up. So is at 13 right now?
Yeah, so currently the bat is basically nullifying the egg. If it can have an attack every turn, it won't this turn because of the Babbling Brook. So that might be a turn where there's no nullifying the angel egg triggers. Now Hydra's been sleeping all the way up, just in case the Battlemage decides to fly the Cloud City to location 2.
Yeah, but in that case, he's even better positioned at 7 because whether he then flies to 2 or 6, he's
true.
can greet him.
Yeah, I would really like to see a unit on 7 just for that Geyser potential draw. The worst feeling would be drawing an out that you didn't prepare for, and so you wouldn't be in a position to have this close the game like a Geyser here. Obviously, it's hard. It's easy to say commenting at home, having the deck list previewed beforehand and harder to see when you're actually playing. But those are the kind of things that could very well differentiate a loss from a win.
So if I go back to the deck list, so I see the self-same simulacrum could copy the hippogriffs right now. That
Yeah.
would do it. The swaps don't do anything right now. The Green Knight and killing it, not easy, so that's not happening very soon. The Geyser, as you say, but there we need a minion on 7. Here we see actually the Rule of Tool, but that
Oh,
is a beast. And
the
that
Mortals. Well, now a beast, yeah.
indeed,
Um, yeah, that's painful because that would have been an out, right? With that Powers of Bliss, you could play to 16 and then attack over there.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
And then we still have
unfortunate.
the ring. So basically, at this moment, it is only Geyser a ring that he can draw.
Yeah,
If he has swap, like as long as Jens doesn't cost anything there, he's fine. And mesmerism the same. That would be the other option. So as long as it doesn't cost anything there, it's only Geyser and ring for the win. And even for the win, for the ring, by now he has to take 2 steps also
yeah.
to get there.
Yeah, so you'll see it coming if it's a ring, I think. Ooh. Um, and we see a Merlin's Tower. There was an angelic trigger in the meantime that brought Thomas to 14. So what is a tower cooking? I would assume mana isn't the issue, but who knows? Sometimes you can assemble crazy turn with the discount.
It says gains spellcaster and its next magic cost 3 less.
Yeah.
I guess an artifact like Sword of Flame is not a magic, right?
Nope, so the discount won't be effective for that one. And I guess the Flaming Sword doesn't do much here because it puts the Hippogriff to 4, which is a bit... Ooh, that would do it, however. um, that's the Whirling Blades, so I assume it's going to be cast on the Hippogriffs.
Oh my.
Yeah, and we're going to take 2 steps, and we're going to strike everything in our path, including the starting location. But because we have a Flaming Sword, and each strike deals splash damage, any location with multiple units would get hit multiple times. Like each unit on that location would get hit multiple times. And I think this is what Jens is now walking Thomas through. He's saying, hey, I'm going to strike your avatar for 4. It's going to splash on the pirate ship. I'm going to strike the pirate ship. It's going to splash on your avatar. So both units will take 8. And
Wow.
I see a phone being pulled. It's probably a quick codex check.
Like,
Thomas saying, that sounds busted. Are you sure?
yes, if my opponent would try to sell me that it will deal 8 damage to my pirate ship, my face,
Yeah.
and kill anything else, and then can still attack, I would also like, wait a minute, let's just
Yeah.
take out the phone, see if that is still Legion. But honestly, the Thomas is at 6, and then with the bats and the hippogriffs, that's another 6, so that means that's door.
That's crazy. How did he manage to pull that off?
Now, the
That's
Flaming Sword, if you see 3 in his deck and then 2 Whirling Blades, that is the dream, right? Like, that is such a unfair, a massive
yeah.
amount of damage. But he needed so much time to be able to pull this off.
Well, it's a lot of mana to do it all in one turn. So usually you can see it coming if one gets
Yeah.
played and then you need another turn. But the Merlin's Tower allows this. And as a matter of fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he has 7 mana. He used 4 for the Flaming Sword, 3 mana left. He used 2 for the Whirling Blades because of the discount. So he actually has 1 mana left, even to spare. There's not a lot of things that can cast for 1 mana. Yeah, I think the judge being called is the pair of new hands you see hovering over the table. Just double checking that the interaction is working as described.
And if I remember, it was ruled correctly. We also has just saw his live at 14. So there they go, dealing 8 damage to the Waveshaper. And I
Wow.
think that last 6 damage is unstoppable. That is
That's
4.
a perfect death door as well. That's just beautiful. I've got to say, after turn 4, I thought this game would be over, but
I mean, I nearly stopped the recording. It was like, yeah, this game is done, right? But so there we have it. Both are on death's door. There is a Amulet
ooh,
of Ninane cast on the Battle
that's the
Mage.
last mana.
But,
I
ooh,
don't know how I feel about that. I mean, obviously we've seen the deck list, so it's very easy to say. He could be worried about some kind of damage spell, like a, I don't know, an Ice Lance. Ice Lance would be awkward because of all the void spaces, but I
no, it
guess
doesn't work.
maybe he's thinking about magic damage.
Snowball, but that would also not reach them. So, I don't know. With the swap being in the deck
Hey,
list,
yeah, I think you enable the swap now because there wasn't anything for you to swap with on the Cloud City up until now. But, and I think the top card we see in Thomas's
oh,
hand is a swap.
indeed. He still has many
And I
cards
think
in
he's,
hand, but that top, ooh, and he's, yeah.
and it is a swap. No, it's going to be the amulet and the Hydra. And I think that's going to be game after that. Um, yeah, that is crazy. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, if you're Jens, you don't know what you have to play around, right?
the recording ended here, but that is actually what happened. So the Hydra was swapped for the amulet, and Thomas stole this game. I mean, it was his game to start with. It was going so fast. But I think if Jets didn't play that amulet, the swap was not available. I think its only winning card would have been a ring, but the taking 2 steps, I don't think he would have had the time. Anyway, it is what it is. It's very difficult to think about all the outs here, but yeah, Thomas was able to take that game. Wow. Whoa, what an ending.
What a game.
Also, Swap is not that known to all the players. Like, if you play competitively, yes, you've probably been testing with it, or if you went to the Crossroads. But, like, he also has that Shackles in the deck. Shackles is meant to disable other minions. If your opponent has swaps, you could swap them. Of course, he was playing with the Shackles himself. So yeah, Geoffrey, what a game! This was going back and forth. Like I thought that the game was done, and then Jens came all the way back until that very last moment. Whoa!
Yeah, it's going to be a new muscle for players to think about swap when it comes to like endings, etc. So, yeah, great showing from both players. Loved the bunker play, crazy turnaround, and then a final finish. That was, yeah, very surprising.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Next is round number 3. We will have Thomas again on his Waveshaper playing against a Sorcerer Air Fire. Looking forward to that match as well. So, see you soon.